Yeah, I mean, some people will probably dislike my answer, but yes, I would take the position that Sheikh Albani said, which is, by the way, Muslim scholars had said for centuries before that, which is that everything is subject to debate. Everything is subject to evaluation. The reason why people rejected his argument and said, you're criticizing the Sahihain, which no one had really objected to before the 1700s, or really the 20th century, is what it meant, what's behind what you're doing. It's not about, if you want to sit and criticize, scholars get together and criticize Hadith and Bukhari and Muslim, no one's going to have a problem. What's the problem? The problem is the criticism against Bukhari and Muslim are really criticisms against the Islamic ethical system. The idea of scripture, the idea of religion as being the main reference in your life, the idea that you should overturn things in the past because of fads in the present. That's why there's such defensiveness about those books and defensiveness about reevaluating hadith. It's not because scholars really reject reevaluating hadiths. They never did. But they're afraid that they're opening a door to modern ephemeral fads or ephemeral beliefs overturning centuries of consensus.
Where do you draw the line?
Opening the doors to further scrutiny from anybody, whoever it comes from. Why should we be afraid of opening the doors? This whole idea of sadd al-dhara'i'.
The reason why you're afraid of opening the doors is because opening the doors causes conflict. And when you open the doors without any kind of control, you get, but people are always saying, you know, there's like the Muslim Martin Luther of the week, like there's the Quran discovery articles, every 6 months there's a new Muslim Martin Luther. Does anyone, I mean, I'm not from, you know, I live in the United States, I don't live in Europe. People remember like what the Protestant Reformation caused. Utter complete chaos, politically and theologically and socially, until people realized that no, you can't just have everybody revalue. You have to have some kind of interpretive control, otherwise the world becomes unmanageable.
But for the people around Dahlawi, for example, they would have taken what he said as written in stone. If Dahlawi said about the Muslim Ahmad was, you know, was acceptable in one way or another, it's sahih, then the people around him would have taken that on board as accepted. Now we're looking at it and say, well, no, we can't. You know, we need to relook at this, reevaluate this. It should continue.
I agree with you, but that we have to recognize that within a religious tradition, there have to be certain controls on interpretation. What you're talking about is a tangential issue. When you're talking about the details, yeah, people can reevaluate to their heart's content. You know, but when you're talking about the core, like the Quran, like things that are agreed upon, like there's 5 prayers, or that fornication is prohibited. If you want to open up that to discussion, the religious tradition will cease to exist. It will evaporate. Well, I think it will. I mean, look at look at religion in many European countries, or in urban America. It doesn't mean anything anymore. You know, my haircutter, he comes and says like, everything's about God, man. It's all about God, God, God. I was like, I didn't want to say it to him, but I said, what does that mean? I mean, it just means nothing. I don't know what it means. Anyway.